Josh, thank you so much for taking the time just to go over what you guys are working on with your company right now. I'd love to hear a little bit more about the company, what it is, what you're trying to go towards in the bigger scheme of things in the future as it's connected to blockchain technology and ticketing. So yeah, let us know. What do you think? What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, absolutely. With YellowHeart, the real primary focus is what's called fan engagement. We do it through a number of different products. First and foremost is really our ticketing product. When you look at live event ticketing, there's been no matriculation, there's been no evolution ever, really. It's been the same since inception, where you have a barcode that went from a piece of paper onto a phone finally, not that long ago actually, and it actually just acts as a receipt, a proof of purchase, an entry point, and then that's it. But when you take a step back and you look at the overall sector, you have an extremely captive audience. You have billions of people a year who buy a sports ticket, who are fans of that team, whether it's the Yankees or the Jets or whoever that might be. You have, hundreds of millions a year that buy concert tickets, and they're fans of Beyonce or Coldplay or Ed Sheeran or, the Rolling Stones or whoever it might be. And yet when those fans buy the ticket, there's zero engagement, yet you have a very captive audience. So what blockchain does, and really the use of a blockchain within Web3 infrastructure, allows for the evolution of a stagnant technology, of something that's never been evolved, where a ticket, when issued on a blockchain, becomes a permanent record. So now, not only do you solve the problems around fraud, counterfeiting, and lots of bad actors, scalping in the entertainment and sports industry in the US alone is 12 billion annually. So think about if you're a primary ticket issuer and somebody else is selling your same tickets for 5x and you're getting none of the money. So not only does it, because it can only be one of something on a chain, or else there's provable ownership on a chain, you also can put a royalty into the smart contract around blockchain technology, saying if a ticket goes for a secondary sale, send X percentage back to the stakeholder, the team, the band, the promoter, whoever it might be. So now when something trades forward, you're getting brought up. So if you underprice the market and the market brings the price up, you're being compensated as a creator. Obviously, cause also really, fixing the bad actor problems, sending some of the money, if not all of the money, back to the actual stakeholders. Two huge problems solved right there. Then you get into all of the many, many benefits, such as there's billions of ticket stubs created every year, and they mean something to the fan. They mean, hey, this is when I saw Billie Eilish. Wow. This was Coachella. Wow, this is important. I mean, I've seen people come back from Coachella and wear their wristbands for another 2 or 3 weeks, just because the experience stays with them in their mind that way. So think about the ticket stubs that then trade, and there are certain VIP ones, and artists now making it a new trade where you've had artists in the past that have made colorful and fun artistic stubs on paper. Imagine those moving digital and using NFTs as another technology around Web3 to issue the tickets. So now every artist, every team has an annuity. They have a river of dollars of ticket stubs out there trading post-event. Then let's take it a step further. You could take those tickets, and not only can you issue them on the blockchain, give them to the fan, prove authenticity, give a percentage of secondary royalty back to the stakeholders, but you can now program them like a file. So this particular ticket maybe could play the concert in it. This ticket has a hotel room bundled with it. All of these things that make the live experience better and keep the fan engagement. So now imagine you go home from the Jets game or the Coldplay concert the next day, and Coldplay is still in touch with you. Here's a high def version of the concert. Here's highlights from the game. Here's a discount for you and your friends to come back to the stadium. This was your third show on the Coldplay tour. Here's a free ticket for your fourth. Pick one of these seats coming up. Here's an upgrade. Here's a meet and greet. So what it does is it not only allows through on-chain analytics, which really means the transparency of a blockchain, to identify the bad actors. You also identify the good actors, and you can reward them. And that's what the fans want. Fans, all they want is to be recognized, to be given a free piece of merch, an upgrade, entry into maybe a club where there's some free food, and to be treated well for their behavior. So there's an array of things, and YellowHeart has been working on all of this. We've been really working on, our blockchain ticketing. We developed early on with Ticketmaster. We do not work with them anymore. They're not a Web3 native company. They really haven't at all cared about innovation up until they're forced to. They've really relied on, ticketing advances to venues and, a monopolistic approach to things, whereas we're trying to really work with venues to enable them to make much more money off of fan engagement and keep the seats filled, keep the merch selling, keep the beverages selling, and really take fans on a journey from one location to the next and ongoing engagement. So where we're allowing for the first time for the teams, the artists, the venues, the brands to actually own the customer relationship versus it being through a third party.
Oh, that makes a ton of sense. So it's really about community, right? So you're trying to make sure that everyone's involved in it and they can continue the dialogue, the conversation once they've been to a concert, to an event, whatever the case is, which is fantastic. And to me, it's so commonsensical, and it's great to see that you all are working on this. The technology itself, when you are to issue a ticket, let's say it's an NFT, have you figured out a way to make sure that that's not something that people can copy, so that it's not a static QR code? Maybe it's more dynamic. Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes perfect sense. So there's a few things there. The first is that the best part, or one of the best parts around the fit of this blockchain technology to live event ticketing is that there's provable scarcity of there being one of something. So when YellowHeart issues an NFT as a ticket, our NFT has our own standard called the 721T. Whereas if you issue a profile picture, there's no data in it. All that you could do is prove that it's one of maybe 10,000, and that's authentication. That is one of those. Who owns it based on whose wallet it's sitting in. Whereas a YellowHeart NFT has a seat, a date, a time, a location, a row, and other information in it. And it could have, redeemable for upgrades, redeemable for live content, physical merch redemption, all types of other things in it. So those really cannot be copied. It's almost impossible to detect, to make a copy of it. What we also have is a patent pending on technology, which is a rotating barcode that embeds the user's public wallet address into it. So we know what wallet address is actually scanning into the event. We also could tell if the same wallet address maybe bought 10 tickets but redeemed none. Well, who did redeem them? Where did they go? Was there a flow of a cryptocurrency or of payment back to that person? Wow, they're scalping tickets. Should we red flag them? Not sell to that wallet again, and so on. So we do have a lot of technology that's fraud prevention, and it's actually working quite well right now.
That's fantastic. So my recent experience with this was I went to NFT.nyc, and they had something called Ape Fest for Bored Ape Yacht Club members, whatever the case is. And I luckily got a chance to go to this thing, and I think they used an organization called Token Proof. And it sounds similar in the sense that your QR code that allows you to get in is dynamic, so it's changing even by like a 30-second range. So that if someone were to take a video of that, because it does change, like the actual pixelization changes, it would still allow you in or would block you depending on the situation. So I think that's going to be great for everyone in terms of what you just described and what this group also has as well.
Yeah, so I don't know if you're aware of this. I mean, I attended, Ape Fest and used Token Proof, and apparently there was incredibly widespread manipulation of Token Proof, where people were able to make videos of that QR code and come in with the video, and it was actually became a massive problem. Our QR code, once again, is tied to a wallet, and it also actually changes 1 to 3 seconds. So
Oh,
it's
wow.
really hard to screenshot. But people were making videos for Ape Fest, and I actually know someone who I'm not going to say who it is who actually did it and went multiple nights on their video.
Oh my goodness. I was wondering about that. And I actually tested it, and I wasn't going to actually physically test it there, but I figured that there'd be a way. And then I had an interaction with somebody who was involved with it. And like, no, it changes every 30 seconds. It's almost impossible to do that, but it sounds like people figured out a way, as they always try to do, game the
Yeah,
system.
it was a screenshot video of the 30-second. You go up, there it is, and you're in. Ours changes 1 to 3 seconds. So
Yeah.
we had the benefit of developing this early on with Ticketmaster and learning their learnings.
So we're not going to cite Ticketmaster per se, but like larger organizations that have been in this space for a long time, when will they move in this direction, do you think?
When they're forced to.
You mentioned that earlier. So what requires it? What will force them, do you think?
Well, if you think about legacy organizations, the best thing for a legacy organization is for no change to happen. Really any industry beyond ticketing, where you have an industry that spent money on an infrastructure, has a staff trained to act a certain way, and they're doing really well based off of no change. So, we had an early investment from Ticketmaster and Live Nation. And then it became pretty clear to us that they actually didn't want us to succeed. They actually wanted the opposite. They want to leave things the way they are now because it works best for them. Initially, the premise of sharing the 12 billion on the secondary, which a lot of it's generated off of their tickets and they don't share in, was attractive to them. COVID, I think, might have changed priorities a little bit, but I don't think a lot of these organizations are going to move into this space until it's probably too late. Right now, it reminds me a lot of the record industry when file sharing, download, and streaming came out, where they were saying this is good, this is a fad, it's going to go away, forget this. We'll try it, but we're not going to really get behind it. And I think we all know what happened there.
No doubt. So when it comes to, I guess, the technology stack, is there a particular blockchain that you all are using right now, or are you kind of open-ended?
So right now we're using multiple blockchains. Ticket issuance primarily happens on Polygon.
So layer two. Okay.
Yeah, on the layer two, we were early pioneers of Polygon. Since then, we've seen a bunch of other people jump on it. It's a great blockchain, for what we're doing. We do have further integrations we're working on, which we're super excited because the world of blockchains is moving incredibly fast right now. We're seeing as things evolve rapidly, so things will be a lot different in 2 and 4 quarters than they are now. So we're just we're right now headed where we think the ball will be.
Fantastic. A random one, but I'm kind of curious. Have you all gotten involved in Popes?
We have. So we do what's called really digital fan club, where we've done this with the Big East. So, for example, the Big East men's and women's basketball tournaments, both at Mohegan Sun and Madison Square Garden, we have QR codes that go up on the Jumbotron. People take their phone and they scan it and they get NFTs from the Big East. I'm not going to say it's the same as a POAP, proof of attendance, but it really is. For us, it's joining the community and then getting additional perks for being part of that community for the Big East. We've done them on tour with Maroon 5. We've done them at Red Rocks in Colorado. We've done quite a few of them, actually, and some that have been wildly successful, actually.
That's great. So it's funny, there's a few things in there. One, I used to say POAP until recently. I kind of still go off of that, but I changed it because I heard Vitalik Buterin say that he calls it a pope. And I'm not sure if he's changed that around for us all or not. And he's sort of the bellwether for some of the stuff, but I still like the
I
POAP
have no
a
idea.
little bit.
I definitely could be wrong.
No, I know, no kidding. And I also went to a Big East school undergrad, so that's a good connection
Awesome.
there.
Yeah, the Villanova one, for example, like we airdropped the trophy to every token holder. People were pumped. And we have an incredible campaign coming out for the next basketball season that we're really excited about.
So one of the biggest challenges that I see, but I'd love to hear your perspective, is just getting people onboarded to a wallet, to a digital wallet that they have control over.
Yeah.
Do you think that's it, or do you think there's something else that people need to really think about or understand?
So there's a few different issues here. So if you download the YellowHeart app, it's an app. You buy a
Okay.
ticket in it with your credit card, you set up a username. It's like pretty simple, right? But the underlying technology of it is it's a full-on NFT crypto wallet. So the idea when we built it was, hey, we don't want this to be looking like a crypto wallet. We want it to look like every other app you use every day. So that's where we're headed, and more people just need to head that way. The issue that happened was over the last year, there was so much fluff, so much nonsense in the sector, so many misinformed people discussing it, where it became this big thing. Like, you need a wallet, you need to get Ethereum, it costs you money, you could lose that money. It became a whole thing. Whereas the reality is you download the YellowHeart wallet, you put a username in, you put in your credit card, and you buy a ticket. The ticket comes as an NFT. Maybe you're buying a different type of NFT, but you're buying it just like you buy anything else. And that's where more things need to head, and they are, for this just to become more adoption wise. Same way, I don't know if you remember when the App Store came out on Apple, getting your first app, like, oh, wow, they did it. Next thing you know, it's like you're deleting them because you have so many of them.
One of the last things I was going to ask you was the app that you just described, which I think is fantastic and it makes a lot of sense for people because it's something that's natural. The part that people purists, let's call them purists, might say is, can those individuals get access to the private key such that if they ever wanted to move those NFTs, they would be able to do so onto a different wallet with ease?
Yes. So you actually don't even need keys. On the YellowHeart wallet, you just put in your MetaMask or Coinbase or any other wallet, and you send it over the Ethereum network, and that's it.
Okay.
So like even me now, I know that some of the earliest ticket stubs that we're doing right now, in my opinion, will probably be super valuable in my children's lifetimes. They'll be the
Yes.
earliest versions of, NFTs. So I've actually moved a lot of those into cold storage off of the chain, like for my kids. So yeah, anything we do could live in any wallet. It doesn't have to be the YellowHeart wallet. The reason we built our own wallet was that our wallet enables for rotating QR codes with the user's public keys in them. And it allows for gated audio streaming, gated NFT video streaming, push notifications. We could send a push notification to anyone holding one of our NFTs so we can communicate with them. All types of features that other wallets currently don't have, because our wallet was made for, the live entertainment environment.
What got you into this space?
So, prior to this, I built the largest private streaming network, or elevator music company, where we put the playlist into like JetBlue's terminal and Nobu restaurants and things like that. I exited that company and got very into crypto. And when I started really learning about blockchain, I realized that it was going to solve many, many problems. This particular business happened to be in my wheelhouse around live events. So we went down this road. I'm a huge live music fan, huge sports fan. And I find that, with myself and my contemporaries who are all, people mostly in their 40s and 50s who have disposable income, yet buying a ticket to a game or a concert just seems to present problems, which I can never understand. Like, why can't we just buy a ticket and go see a concert together, or like a game together? And like, why has it become so difficult? And that's really what led me to trying to solve these problems.
Amazing. Okay, that's great. Well, is there anything else that you wanted to mention about YellowHeart or anything else that you're working on?
I don't think so. We have a lot of great projects going on. The company, once again, is still early, but we have been, leading the ticketing portion of NFTs and the community engagement portion of NFTs. Very excited about what's to come, and just continuing to really push our mission.
Excellent. No, I really appreciate you going through that. I think it's very helpful for people to understand where you're going, where the industry is going, and how you're getting there. So that's great. So thank you very much.
Thank you.